everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 11 of Dyson Sphere Program Let's Play Series, where today we're going to get into planetary logistics. I am currently crafting some planetary logistics stations. I already crafted a couple, and actually it looks like I crafted a couple, but I need to craft a couple more in a different way. Let's do it this way. That looks a little bit better. So I think I've got, how many do I have so far? 2 planetary logistics stations. These things are reasonably expensive, but not terrible. You're going to need a healthy amount of these things here, which are particle containers. Now, part of what I'm going to use my first planetary dudes for is to automate those. Like, I'd like one of my first tasks to be making those automated and nice. Cool. And in addition to that, we're also going to want to get ourselves a good number of logistics drones. And in order to get logistics drones, there's a couple components we're going to need. Effectively, we just need some iron, which is no big deal. We need some processors, which we've automated already. And we need some thrusters, which we've also automated already. So with that said, we should be pretty cool to get stuff going. Now, one thing I will do, probably, is why don't I copy you to here, and I'm going to put this guy here. Now, last episode we snagged ourselves a healthy amount of silicon, which was nice. I want to kind of like throw all that in there and then maybe snag a little bit extra just to hang on to, just to really get my processors crafting in a more efficient manner, right? And that should now be producing and running at full speed. In theory. In theory. And you're not going to limit what you can, because you're only... This is temporary until I can get silicon over here full-time, right? So, this dude should be making a bunch of processors for now, which is cool. Let's go ahead and make... I usually like to make about 10 of these at a time. So I'm going to do like 20-ish, and then we'll have a bunch. Right? So again, that's just going to use the existing thrusters that we have. We don't need to produce a ton of thrusters because they stack pretty high, and you don't need a huge number of them. So, today, how do we do planetary logistics? Actually, it's really quite simple. It's not going to be all that complicated. So one thing I know that I'm going to want to make with planetary logistics, and step 1 is have a plan. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? What we want to accomplish is particle containers. This is a crafting component that needs these green turbine things, electromagnetic turbines. It also needs copper, and it also needs graphene. Now, graphene is way the heck over there, and my electromagnetic turbines are way the heck down here. So long story short, we can either run a ton of cables over here, a ton of conveyor belts, or we can use logistics. And as you advance through this game, you're going to use more and more logistics. So trust me when I say just get her done and start using logistics early on, because they make things a lot easier. So let's check it out, shall we? So under your, where is this thing? Number 6, transportation. You place down your planetary logistics building. And as you can see, it's pretty big. Now this is the planetary
logistics station.
Let's listen to what he says.
Taken the first step to establish the interplanetary logistics transportation network. Provided the place of logistics station of the raw material is set to supply, the logistic drones will transport cargo to elsewhere with a demand on the planet automatically. Never forget to put the logistic drones in the logistics station, either the supply or the demand side. The logistic drones will only work for the transportation station they're belonging to.
Cool. So, a little broken English there, but that's fine. This company is, or the company that makes this game, I don't think is a English-speaking company. But you get the gist. The deal is that the planetary logistics station, you can pipe items into it, and then drones will transport items from that station to other stations. So some stations can be set to supply, other stations will be set to demand. And we're going to set that up right now by throwing about 10 drones in here, which we just did, and you can see those 10 drones are now sitting there ready to go. Now they have a carrying capacity of 25 items each, and they have a flight speed of 8 meters per second. So the further away you need to travel, the longer it's going to take to happen, right? Now the good news is that there is absolutely logistics carrier engine upgrades, plus 20% logistics drone flight, and logistics carrier capacity, plus 5 logistics drone carrying capacity, and there's a bunch of upgrades to go along that route to eventually get to the point where you can get tons and tons of speed and carrying capacity. And eventually, I don't know if I've mentioned these, but some things have an infinite amount. So some things you can upgrade as many times as you want. It's a very expensive upgrade, the last tier, but there's a handful of upgrades that have an infinity symbol on it at the end, which means once you get to this point, you can keep upgrading it for incremental improvements. But the gist is that early on they're a little slow, and then they eventually get better. You'll notice that there's 3 slots available here. That's important. Now you can specify what you want those slots to be, and I think you have to. So let's look at doing that. So what I'm going to do probably is we're going to get rid of this in lieu of putting them in here. Because this can hold 3 items, as you can see. And these guys, I happen to be making 3 items right here, which might be nice. And eventually I'm probably going to want all of them. So let's kind of make that happen. I'm going to want to snag a little bit more iron just so I can get myself some stuff here. But what I'm going to do is eventually, well, first I'm going to, let's do it like this. Let's do something. Oh, good, structure matrix. Nice, we unlocked yellow research cubes. We're going to want to get this going sooner than later. Absolutely sooner than later. I'm going to cancel this guy real quick. These guys should craft relatively quickly. Good. Once I get the tier 1s here, I think I will be good to go. So what I want to do here is effectively run this into here. And you'll notice there's 3 slots for input here. Now I'm pretty sure it's going to get stuck because I haven't told it that I want him to hold super magnetic rings yet. Okay. Now here's the deal. This thing's capable of holding 5,000 of these. I don't know that I want that big of a backlog. So I'm going to make it 1,000 by sliding the slider here. So you can say, like, you know, this is how much I want to let this thing hold. And it'll eventually fill up. Now what I'm going to do is remove this. I'm going to take the 300 we have here. And I should be able to put them in here with a simple pick them up and click. You can also control click an item, and it'll pick up all of them. So that's 300 that I can just stick in there easily. What's also cool about Planetary Logistics, you can right-click on this object here and use your slider to choose how many you want to grab. So if I wanted to grab like 100-ish of these, I could do that. How cool is that? Okay, pretty darn close to 200. Not too shabby. So this guy is now going to sit here and receive these items. Now what I'm also going to do is add this line like so. So that surplus of the turbines can go in here, and we're going to do the same deal. Turbine, keep about 1,000 in there. Cool? So turbines will prioritize turning into electromagnetic dudes, and then they will start stocking this thing up. Cool? I might make this 500 for now, just to let turbines start to back stuff, because turbines is what we really need right now. Now, finally, what I'm going to do is connect up this stuff. Do you really need to be there, mister? You kind of do, but I could move this. So that I can do this and pop him right in there. So same deal with the motors. What we're going to do is prioritize the production of the higher tier 1, but I want the tier 1 motors just chilling in here. And again, let's keep about 1,000 of them. That sound cool? So what'll happen is, shortly, we will have produced enough electromagnetic, supermagnetic rings to backstuff this line. And then, so once this fills up to 500, it'll start backstuffing. Then all of our green turbines will start going in here and fill up to 1,000. And then all of our motors will go in there up to 1,000. And that should be the deal. Hey, crystal smelting's done. Thanks, Bloody. Now what I can absolutely do is remove this and remove this, because we really don't need them anymore. And what I'm going to do is place this in here. I think I'll hold on to 2 stacks of each. So click and click, and that looks good, right? So we've got 2 stacks of each of these. Actually, I have a 3rd stack of them, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in there as 2. That looks cool. And then we're good to go. Nice! All right, so now this building is supplying these resources to other planetary logistics that exist in this planet, because it's planetary logistics only works on the planet. Cool. And we've got 10 drones ready to ship stuff. You can also see there's a couple sliders down there. Max charging power. If you don't want this station just sucking all the power out of your network that is possibly available, you can limit how much power is allowed to be used to charge this dude. Transport range of drones, so right now it's 180 degrees, which I think means the entire planet, but if you want to shrink it down, you can. And then minimum load of drones. What this is the drones can carry 25 items. With minimum load set to 10%, it means they'll at most leave if something needs 2.5 items, right? So for now, let's say like there's somebody who says keep me in stock with 100, and I have 99. It's not going to send a drone there with one item. If I have 98, I assume it's not going to send a drone. But if I have 97, it'll send a drone with 3 items. If I don't want that drone to leave until it, can be full, I could set this up to 100. So then it won't leave until it's missing 25 items, right? Maybe I'll set it to like 70%, and that would be cool. So these guys are all set to supply. They're all filling up their buffer there. And in a few minutes, we'll come back and find that they've got plenty of stuff sitting there ready to roll. Cool. Now, in addition to this, we're going to want to fly up north and start stocking up on these things. Remember I was automating this? So basically speaking, what I want to do is get this guy stocked in the same way. So I'm going to pop down a logistics station here. We're going to remove you. We're going to run these belts over. Okay. And I'm going to put 10 drones in here. And he's going to supply graphene. And again, keep about 1,000 of the stuff. And I'm going to put a few extras in here from my inventory. I want 200 in available to me, so that's what I'll do, right? So now he'll start producing, he'll eventually fill up, he'll back stuff, everything will shut down. End of story. Cool. So he's powering up his charge here. By the way, they charge faster when they're empty. So the closer to a full charge they get, the less demand on your network they draw. Okay. And I think if I shrink this down, it'll scale appropriately. So you can see how I changed it from 12 megawatts max to 6. It just, shrunk down there. But I'll keep it at the original 12. It doesn't matter. Cool. So now you're supplying graphene to the world. Very nice. Very nice. Now let's go set up a demand. Now at this point, we can build this setup that we want to do literally anywhere on this planet. There's a small copper vein over here that I don't want to use. And why am I looking for copper veins? Well, you might have a pretty good guess at that. You might not. But I think I know where I want to be. It's going to be down in this direction. If we remember what we need for this, it is we need graphene, which we currently just added. I think there's one over here-ish. To our particle, or to our logistics network that we're building for this planet. And we need the turbines, which we just added to the logistics network for this planet. We also need copper. So I could throw down a planetary provider for copper, or I could go set up a location that's next to an existing copper vein. And we can just tap into this bad boy. That sounds cool. And yeah, is good. Cool. So let's get some stuff here going on. Now, I don't know exactly how many we need. And remember, you want to go west to east, so pay attention to where your poles are, and then, make sure your belts are running in an intelligible way. But what we'll do is something like this. Cool. And we'll set up a quickie smelting area. So let me get, a few more of these guys. And I'm assuming I don't need a ton of copper right now, so that's why I'm creating a small little area for it. Alright, and that'll leave me room to expand a little bit if I decide to need to in a bit. No big deal. Alright, so we're gonna in, out, 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 out. And you're gonna be copper, and then we're gonna copy, paste, paste, paste. Cool? A little bit of power, a little bit of power, a little bit of power. And then the nearest base is around there, so let's get the long-range power pole things going on. Cool, and that'll bring everybody juice. Did you not connect? I thought you connected. do the thing in a way that connects everybody. Cool. So now we've got power going on. And I'm just going to flatten the terrain here real quick, because all these trees and everything are annoying me. So we've now got conveyor belts coming in. Cool. So here's what we can do. We can set up a logistics tower that's going to fly in a handful of resources for me. All right, let's make sure that he's got power. I want you to ask for graphene. So I'm going to click on graphene here. I'm going to set the throttle to, like, I don't know, 200? And we'll change this from supply to demand. So there's 3 settings here. Supply means I will let people get graphene from me. Demand means I'm going to look for graphene and bring it here. And storage means I'm just going to hold on to it. Like, I'm just a bigger storage container. That's it. There's uses for that, by the way, but we'll talk about it later. So if I flip you to demand, you'll see all of a sudden 200 in-flight things happening. So what happened just now? If we fly towards our graphene producer, we'll find that the drones that were in the graphene storage container have just departed 25 at a time, and they're flying right over the planet to bring us stuff. Now, they're a little slow, and they only hold 25 items each, but that's okay. We'll be upgrading that as time goes by. And the benefit here is that we can obviously do a lot of stuff. So I'm going to do the same for the green motors, okay? I'm going to set it to 200, and I'm going to hit demand. And watch what happens. My little dudes with little pictures of green motors on the top, you can kind of see them. See the green motors? Come flying on over. How cool is that? They're going to land, they're going to deposit their stuff, and then they're going to fly back to their base. Cool beans? And now we can export these. So let's set up a couple of these doohickeys, okay? I'm gonna run this like this, and then I'm gonna have this, and this. Okay, now you'll notice that when I was kind of placing these on the output of this, there's a little screen that comes up, and I can hit tab to cycle through filters. It's basically slots 1, 2, and 3. What do I want to extract from here? By default, it's none. And if you want to change the filter on the fly, you can kind of mouse over the thing, and you'll notice a little filter guy pops up. So let's have you be the graphene randomly, and you be the motors. Boom. Okay, now on account of this thing using up a handful of this stuff, we have more graphene coming here. Because remember, we changed it so that this guy is set to 70%, but we didn't change that over here. So as soon as graphene started being extracted, a bunch of drones left carrying small amounts of graphene. Let's bump this guy up to 70% as well. Okay, now here's a cool trick. You'll notice I'm in Planetary view. The really awesome thing about Planetary Logistics is regardless of how far away you are from things, you can go into Planetary view and modify the Planetary Logistics. And when I say modify, I also mean grab items. So if I wanted to grab 100 of these, I could absolutely do that. I'll just grab one as an example, and I can throw it into my inventory. How cool is that? So as you start getting into Planetary Logistics, you can access your resources from anywhere, which is awesome. Cool. Now, I did not do a very good job of setting this up, so I'm going to move this guy, and we're going to put him actually one further away. We're going to run this like this. Here. And Planetary Logistics, and then soon Interplanetary Logistics, will very quickly play an important role in automation of our environment. Because we're going to be more and more using Planetary Logistics and less using conveyor belts for long-distance travel. And setting up remote crafting locations like this is going to be huge. So what's so awesome about this remote crafting location? Well, allow me to share. What I can now do is set up this. Boop, boop, and boop. And I'm going to set you to supply the particle containers up to, I don't know, 500-ish. Does that sound cool? And we're going to set you as an export. Let's see. I want you to export to here, and to here. You can bring in... Why are you having so much trouble? There we go. That's what we want. Cool. I'm going to reverse these just so that they match. So you're in and you're out. Cool. So in, out. And then you guys are going to craft particle traps. Copy, paste. So it makes them at this remote location using the copper from the locally sourced environment. And then we're going to, you know, feed it into there, which is cool. And then this guy can supply it to other places that may need particle containers. So that's how you automate the production of a resource using, and I'm going to go ahead and drop this in here just so that it frees up that one inventory space, using planetary logistics. Cool. So as we advance, we're going to start tweaking our environment to basically have more planetary logistics stuff. We will start, you know, feeding resources into planetary logistics so that as we need stuff that's going to be further and further away, we can kind of expand and do better. Does that sound cool? I hope so, because that's 100% what's about to happen. Now, all this should, in theory, hopefully lead to using lots and lots of this stuff. So everybody's groovy now in terms of things are cool, I hope. Now we're at like right around 100% satisfaction. Let's go check on our solars. I just want to make sure, are solars still super happy with things? I guess they are. The intensity is at like 80%, so it's not great. Yeah, some of them are a little bit weak, but they're doing okay. Doing okay. And you guys are all behaving correctly? Yeah, you're doing exactly what I want you to do, which is making lots and lots of graphene. Awesome. So hey, now we've automated these guys, the particle containers. So let's look at automating science or structure matrices. Now I might want to kind of do the same thing. We might not. We'll see. I have to remember what the yellow crystal automation goes by. So the best way to really start is to just start. So if we want structure matrices, the crafting process is pretty complex. Number one, we need diamonds, which is just made in a smelting facility with energetic graphite. So no big deal, easy peasy. We're going to forget about this one for a minute because the next thing we need to make, which is titanium crystals, is far more complex. So titanium crystals is a multi-stage craft. Step one is we need to get titanium, which we know how to get, so we're going to, again, forget about that. But we need organic compounds, which is a combination of plastic, refined oil, and water. Not so bad. In order to get plastic, we need refined oil and energetic graphite. So there's a couple things we could do here. We've already got refined oil, water, and energetic graphite going on. So why don't we just combine them right here-ish and see if we can't come up with a nice system for this, right? So what I'm going to do is try to wing it so that it makes sense what I'm doing. So I'm going to run you down here, okay? And let's maybe just flatten this terrain a little bit just to make it a little bit easier to see what I'm working on. Okay, so the refined oil will go along this line, and I kind of want to run it left to right like I usually do, and I want to see if I can fit it inside this area. I've kind of boxed myself into a little bit of a corner, and if it turns out that I regret that, I will either move it further down south here so that it's less of a problem. You know, I could even like tap into this line. Maybe I'll do that. That sounds like a good time to me. I think I can just put you in here, can't I? Yes, beautiful. Double beautiful. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just, you know, I don't even know if I want this because it existing is annoying to me. So yeah, let's do that. If that's where I want that to be, then we'll deal with it more later. Cool. Now, if I'm looking at my... All right, good. We're still pretty good on that stuff. Sweet. Okay. And then we'll put this away just to keep my inventory clean and not void resources. Not that it's a big deal to void resources, but you get the idea. Are you full? You're getting full. Okay, we'll just leave you alone. We got so much refined oil, it's going to be a thing eventually. What I could also do is split off of here if it becomes a problem. We'll figure it out as time goes on. So step one in our process of processing is going to be plastic. Okay, now we're going to need to combine energetic graphite with refined oil to make plastic. So what I want to do is get a splitter here. And probably run it like this. And then I'm probably going to want a splitter. Well, let's do this. Let's place down the things first. In order to make plastic, we need a chemical facility. Okay? Let's make 10 of these. That should be cool. And we're going to math out like what a nice balance point is on this. So plastic, we're going to want our... this, and then we're going to want... like that, right? So what I'll probably wind up doing is... this actually works out pretty nicely. Like that. Cool. And then you're going to start making about 20 per minute, assuming we have full power and full resources, right? So you're making 20 plastic per minute. And the recipe is making 1 plastic at a time, so it's actually 20 plastic per minute. Unlike, you know, other things where it's like 20 crafts per minute is 20 plastic per minute here, right? Now, real quick, what I'm going to do is look at how much... and I really need to look at power. I really need to ramp up power production a little bit. Like, really. How's this thing doing? Is everybody producing power over here? Like, are you guys backstuffed? Kinda are, which I love. Will you be good about this? You don't like that there's belts there. Why do you not like that there's belts there? That annoys me. That might just help our power production a little bit. And hopefully not put too much of a strain on these, because it looks like we're doing okay here. Believe it or not. We're pretty backstuffed, but we'll find out if it becomes too much of a problem. But then this guy's getting power, and now we're doing a little bit better on power. We're going to want like a dedicated power plant area elsewhere on this planet, but give me that. So anyway, yellow crystal now. We're going to need water and refined oil, right? And we're going to need the plastics. So what we can do is something like this. What if we... well, I don't want to exactly copy you. But what we could have is something like this. Maybe one further down. Yeah, I like that plan. Where you're going to do something like this. Cool. And your job will be the yellow crystals. You're going to get the plastic that I just collected. You can have some refined oil. And you can have some water, right? So now my job is to figure out, so making one of these needs 2 plastic, so we want to double whatever our production speed is here, right? It's 10 per minute, so it needs 20 plastic per minute, which is exactly what this dude's making, right? So if you look at the math here, we'll see that basically I shouldn't do what I'm doing, right? What I can do instead is literally just this. Because one of these will supply one of these. Cool? Now we need to obviously add refined oil here and water being the trickier piece, but that's not that big a deal, because what we can do is we can snake some water down, or we can add water from here-ish. I like adding water from here-ish. So what I'm going to do is have a new water pump. We'll start with 2 and we'll see if we need more. I doubt we will. Okay. And what I'd like to have is... I'm going to start it here. I'm gonna go up a level, and can I get over this guy with being up a level? Maybe up 2 levels? Yes, but cancel this. And then down like this. How's that look? Okay, so then what we can have is this. Okay, so check this out. Boom, but not you. And then boom. Okay, so watch this. Can I just copy you? Why do you feel like you're colliding with another object that's just conveyor belts? Oh, I see. Hang on. Yeah, I wonder if I can get you to go down sooner. I should be able to get that to happen. I would like that, actually, if I could. Looks like I can. Nice. Now, will you let me... You don't really want to seem... You're very snappy today. Let me try one more time to copy and paste a big area, and if that doesn't work... Collide with another object. Yeah, you still seem to think that colliding with belts that already exist is a huge problem, and I would like it if it would overwrite that. Is there an option for that where it can overwrite? I could probably just remove the belts. Yeah. But why do you want to snap so hard to that? Why can't you let me go a little bit closer? That's kind of cool. And now everybody should be groovy? Yeah, you're producing. Perfect. I like that. Actually, that's really... I think that's really nice. And if my math is correct, that's perfect, right? You're producing exactly as much plastic as you need to for this thing to run consistently. See? He's perfect. I like it. I like it a lot. Is good? Yeah, buddy. That's really nice, actually. Now, the organic crystals can combine with titanium to make titanium crystals. So that's what we'll do here. Now, what I'm going to do is simply snag some of the titanium manually, because we are not automatically producing titanium. So there's no need to automate or worry about doing that. What we want to do is grab what titanium we already have. And I'm going to drop water on the ground. I don't care about that. That can be just destroyed. It's water. There's literally an infinite amount of it. Water's infinite, just like Minecraft. So now your job, my friends. So titanium crystals will be made in an assembler. So that is this building. Okay. So let's figure out how we want this to be used, right? So what is... I'm actually going to upgrade you to Mark II, because I just want Mark II already. You want to make titanium crystals, and if I snag some of these and put them in here with some titanium, we'll quickly learn 15 per minute, and we need one of these. So effectively, we need 15 organic crystals per minute. You're making 10, so in total 30, so that means 2 of these to satisfy what's coming out of this. Cool? So it's 3 to 2, and that's a perfect balance if you're using Mark II assemblers. Right? That's cool. That's cool. Okay. And then you... can do this. And as a temporary, we're going to have... it's super temporary. But I want to hang on to 100 just for me. Okay. Cool. Now that needs 3 titanium per crystal. So this uses a lot of titanium, as you can imagine. But don't worry, we'll be getting titanium here automatically soon enough. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. Now your titanium crystals will eventually feed into some stuff. We're probably going to want to have... what we'll probably want to have is some of this stuff. I'll be back in a sec. So now what I'm going to do is 3 tall towers of yellow research cube makers. And that looks pretty cool to me. Right? Now the last piece of this is energetic graphite. So what I'm going to do... make sure this lands flattened. We're going to split off this stuff with a splitter, or a sorter, or whatever they're called. And then we can have this making diamonds. And they will feed like so. Very easily. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Come on, buddy. Yes, yes, I hear everyone who said automate the production of buildings. I will as I get more established with better automation capabilities, I promise. Okay? So then you into here, and now we've automated yellow matrix cubes, which is awesome. So now what I'm going to do is just run this down. I'll probably move you... is there a better place for you to live? Ish. There's got to be a better place for you to live. That looks good. For now-ish. Man, that is just really far. Core energy will deplete soon. Please refuel. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. That should be better. Why is my core energy so empty? Oh, because my drones are building. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Poor drones have so far to go. So part of me wants to, like, logistics this down there. The other part of me is, like, we don't have a ton of logistics stuff going on just yet. So do I really want to logistics this down there? Good question, honestly. Because my stuff's really far away, in fairness. Charge me up, buddy. Now here's a cool trick. You can totally do this. And that'll charge you up even faster. Provided that your network is capable of supplying enough power to make that happen. So if I want you to be, like, cool about stuff, what I might do... I'm going to change this up real quick. Let's remove you. Let's disconnect you a sec. Put all you guys in there. Like that. I would like you to go like this now. Okay. And this now. And then what we can do for now, until I get like more planetary logistics type stuff going down, I think it would be fine to do this. Like that. But then we'll have you doing this. And I know, I feel like we're getting really long in the tooth on this episode. But that should be cool. Okay, so now we are feeding the yellow cubes that we're producing in much the same way we are for blue and reds. All the way down into a storage container that will backstuff a bunch of yellows, which will be nice. We'll be very happy that we've done that. And then we can start doing yellow research stuff, which is exciting. Cool. So how about we wrap up the episode here? We'll come back next time and start looking at what we can use these yellow research cubes for. But if my theory is correct, why are you stopped? Oh, because you're out of titanium. No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, no, 100% makes sense. We need lots of titanium. So priority 1, interstellar logistics, so that titanium can come back to this planet in a way that is automated and I don't have to manually do this no more. That'll be huge. For now, though, it is wrapping up point. Darryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time to play more Dyson Sphere. Hope you guys are enjoying the series, because I am super having fun with this game, as I have many times in the past. It's such a good game. And so much automation and dire belts and all the good things that you guys are used to. For now, take it easy.